So for the first time in like 25 years, I don't know if you've ever seen me without this product, but for the first time in like 25 years, I am not wearing a pair of Adidas sneakers. And I will not bend and contort my foot up to the camera so everyone can see what I'm wearing. But I am wearing a pair of Pumas, believe it or
You know
not.
what? It's funny you said that. That was literally, I was going to say, don't tell me you went Puma.
Back, Rob.
We're
We're back.
back. And you may have
Episode
noticed
140.
something. You
I
may have
know.
noticed a big difference.
We took a little siesta, for
Yeah.
those that have been binging, right? And something is different. Dun dun dun. Kicking and screaming into the 21st century, right?
That's right. We now
Yeah.
come with a visual aid.
I
Our
know. So
podcast comes with a visual aid.
I know. So everyone can see our unusual ticks,
Mm-hmm. Our gray beards.
put the handsomeness on blast, all that good stuff, So
We might lose some followers. I'm not sure. This is going to be it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, always always moving and grooving and iterating and trying different things and trying to broaden horizons, things we ask of our clients as well. Speaking of broadening horizons, I think that kind of ties into today's topic, right?
I believe so.
Potentially. Today I thought we'd talk about, because something interesting happened to me. I'll share the story. Brand allegiance, right? People's brand allegiance, right? And sort of, we've worked with a lot of brands, B2B, B2C, there's a lot of methodology on like what you fall in love with, you live with for life, or even there's a whole aspect to college is really the formidable time when you start to really lean into things, right? And so, hey, get them in college. And then they'll be with you forever, that type of thing, right? Which is kind of interesting, right? So for the first time in like 25 years, I don't know if you've ever seen me without this product, but for the first time in like 25 years, I am not wearing a pair of Adidas sneakers. And I will not bend and contort my foot up to the camera so everyone can see what I'm wearing. But I am wearing a pair of Pumas, believe it or not.
You know what? It's funny you said that. That was literally, I was going to say, don't tell me you went Puma.
Oh, I should have made you guess.
I was going to get, but I promise you, I was thinking
Okay.
Puma. I don't know why.
believe it. Well, shit, you know me really well. I have been an Adidas guy forever. Absolutely love Adidas and feet. I mean, footwear. Comfort, walking, running, doing playing sport. You just kind of get into the. It's like, hey, Nikes fit my feet really well. Adidas. People just love. You kind of get in that. You get in that vibe, and for whatever reason, I was like, you know what? I had some time. And I was at DSW, shout out. I guess Discount Shoe Warehouse. Is that what? I don't even know what DSW stands for.
Sure.
I just made that up.
I mean,
I just totally made that up.
that works.
And was like, I'm going to take some of these, it's like, there they are. There's the Adidas that I always buy, and it's kind of what color do you want, that type of thing. Right.
Yeah.
And I always buy like 2 of everything because I just love them so much, right? And then you go back and you want to buy them and they never have them or whatever the deal is, right? And even if they keep the same model, they kind of tinker with it and it's a little bit different here and there. So for the first time ever, I was like, I'm buying effing Pumas, and they are unbeliubly comfortable. That's
Look
crazy
at
as
you
that
living
sounds.
dangerously out there.
I know, but it made me think about like other brands,
Now, okay, but wait.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
when you went
to
the DSW,
yeah,
did you know you were going to break the mold? Were you like, you know what? I'm feeling something different today. I'm going to look. Were you open to it, or did they catch your eye when you were walking, or how did it? Walk us through how it happened.
Okay. I will say that it wasn't a full surprise. It wasn't a shock to the system. I think going in, I was definitely open. It was, hey, I've been wearing these, for ever and a day. I was like, what else is out there,
Right.
And hey, I don't want to sound like an old man with a hearing aid and a cane and a walker here. You know what I mean? But like, hey, is there anything else out there? Like, no one's wearing Skechers. You know what I mean? I'm not doing old man slip-ons and shit like that yet.
Don't hate on the Skechers. Don't hate on the Skechers.
But yeah, it was just like, hey man, everybody loves Brooks, Brooks
Yeah.
is such a popular, and we've been doing, we do a lot of photo shoots. We do. I mean, I don't need like athletic shoes for competition, right? Meaning,
Right.
like, I'm not in a Sunday rec league for basketball. I'm not running a ton of, you know what I mean? I mean, I go for long walks and things like that. But I don't need like high
You don't need a
performance
performance
footwear,
shoe. You
right?
just need a comfortable,
Yeah. However,
comfortable.
like, we'll do a 2 or 3 day photo shoot, and you're on your feet,
Yeah.
in a concrete building, right, for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, day after day after day. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, I mean, you just need cozy shoes. You can't wear
Yeah.
like flip flops
Yeah.
on something like that, right? So I think I was open to the idea, and it was like, hey, I just need some cushioning, and
Sure.
things like that, and maybe a little bit too much information. But I don't have high arches; I have very low arches, right?
Mm.
So if you have like a running shoe that's like super forced arch sort of deal, like that kills me. Like I'm out. Like Nikes actually don't fit my feet very well at all. I'm not a big Nike fan. Um, so I was like, oh man, everybody loved Brooks. I was actually at the photo shoot, and it was food stylist Brooks, food assistant style. The assistant was OC, the cloud
On
or
cloud.
on or whatever. Yeah. Photographer Brooks, digital tech Brooks. Everybody's wearing Brooks, and
Wow.
I'm like, what
I
is the
didn't
deal?
realize. Well, I know that runners. I mean, Brooks is a
Yeah,
high quality running shoe.
yeah, yeah.
But I
Everybody
didn't know
wearing
that
Brooks.
people just casually wore that
Yeah, well,
Brooks were
they're
that
like,
popular.
oh man, I need the support. I'm
Yeah.
standing on cement all day, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go and let me go look, snoop around.
Yeah.
Puma not high on the list at all. So the concept of like switching brands was tickling there, right? But not like, oh, I'm going in and I'm going New Balance, or I
Yeah. You
definitely
didn't
know,
care which way you went. You were
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
you were gonna let the shoe find you. Is
yeah,
really what
exactly.
was
And
gonna
I'm
happen.
not going to like the running store to run on the treadmill and test which shoe would be good.
Yeah.
I just want cozy shoes,
All
for
right.
for
What color?
standing.
What can I guess the color? Are they the Puma version
Take
of
'em
those
off. I'll take them off.
Adidas
I won't bend
shoes?
my leg up, but I'll take them off.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not running shoes. Are they the Puma equivalent of the Adidas style that you used to wear?
No.
Not even.
Oddball. Yeah, oddball.
Wow. Well,
Okay, guess the color.
I'm gonna
Guess the
guess the
color.
color, and I'm gonna say without hesitation, the color is green.
Green. You are incorrect, sir.
Whoa.
What is this?
Okay,
Khaki? It's a khaki.
it's giving pewter, as the kids would say.
Yeah, it's kind of a warm grayish.
Okay, but that's more
Puma.
athletic than I thought you were about to show me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I thought you were going to show me, the Adidas version
Yeah.
of the Puma, and I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be green with
Yeah.
a white stripe reverse out.
Yeah. But anyways, so anyway, I love them. I mean,
Were they
I
out
mean,
of? They must have been out of Yeezys. Is that they didn't have them in your size? Is that
Jesus,
why?
we can't talk about that. That's been canceled, right? Yeah, I don't. It just kind of jumped out at me.
Yeah.
I did try on some Brooks. I did try on some New Balance. I tried on a little bit of everything. So, and was like, why not? Let me give it a whirl. And man, it was hard to not buy those damn Adidas because they looked good and they're cozy
Yeah.
as can be. But I figured, you know what? Try. But anyway, so that leads us to today's topic in terms of like, are there any brands? And I kind of sprung this on you. Didn't have a lot of time to prepare. Any
I'm always
brands that you would like just absolute like ride or die, like I'm taking all the way to the end. You know what I mean? Any thoughts on your side of the fence? Long dramatic.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I
pause.
mean, I think about it in a million different ways, right? So starting as like a kid, like I would go, as a kid from Atlanta, Coca-Cola. I'm a loyal Coca-Cola brand guy.
You don't drink Pepsi.
No, why would you do that? That's a horrible thing to do.
There's like one
Um,
restaurant in Atlanta famous for having Pepsi.
Yeah.
Because it's right across the street from the Pepsi bottling company.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
a distribution hub or whatever it is. So yeah.
And all Atlantans are like that.
Yeah.
We're all Coca-Cola snobs.
Mhm.
But
I don't drink
but
Pepsi.
it's a great product and one that hasn't changed, right?
Yeah.
So brands evolve over time. If
Yeah.
you think about like fashion or apparel or things like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
shoes, they're changing and evolving. But Coca-Cola it's your granddad's Coca-Cola. I mean,
Yeah.
it just is. I mean,
That's
we all
true.
know what happened when they tried to change it, and there
Mhm.
was massive revolt, and that didn't work.
Yeah.
So I would say that's interestingly a brand that has remained the same
yeah.
for
Now
however long.
they innovate in the margins though. They innovate around.
Right.
you
I
know?
guess what I mean is you can always the classic Coca-Cola is always going to be the hero.
Yeah.
The hero. I mean, I'll mess with a Coke Zero. I'm not afraid.
Yeah. As long as it's ice cold. The
just
minute
not
that
the
thing
same,
goes room
though.
temperature, it doesn't taste
Not
like
the
Coke.
same.
Yeah.
So that would be one. I would say Other brands. You mentioned music before we started chatting, and like so I play guitar not well, and I'm not going to play on this podcast.
You're a
So
great guitar player.
um, but I started out as a Fender guy.
Yeah. I was
Right?
wondering if you were going to say Fender or Gibson. I was wondering if this was going.
Well,
All right.
I started out as a Fender guy. I got my first Strat when I was in 10th grade,
Okay.
right? As a birthday present.
Yeah.
And then I only relatively recently went to Gibson
Started playing Gibson.
and bought a Les Paul.
Yeah.
I don't ever play my Fender anymore.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's crazy to me. And people are, I mean, obviously this is an age-old argument, Fender versus Gibson, but like there's something for me personally about the Gibson that just the tone and the weight and just the playability and everything.
Okay.
It's just and it's just, to me, it's more, a Les Paul is more iconic just from a straight, like,
yeah, of course it is,
historic perspective, is more iconic than a Stratocaster. It just is.
Now, remind me, Gibson is the one that goes out of tune a little bit easier than a Fender does, or am I crazy?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, generally speaking, it does. You got to tune that thing all the time. But it's amazing. So I kind of jumped ship there. I went, but now I'm not getting rid of my Fender, mind you.
No.
I'll keep them both. You're not throwing out the Adidas shoes.
But you're not reaching for the Fender anymore. You're not like a diehard Fender.
So, wow. I'm not doing it.
That's fascinating.
Not doing it.
I think
one thing that you said though, at the beginning, the idea of get them in college and you'll have them for life. Now it's get them when they're 4 and you'll have them for life. I mean, social media and TikTok and Instagram, the amount of like,
you're right.
Who knows what the amount of revenue that's generated through social media platforms for companies these days, but there are so many brands that you would never have access to.
Yeah.
That now and you get them literally when they're.
Well, I remember reading, you remember when Twitch started, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, wait a minute, what? We're like streaming our own game, like we're creating our own network or something. Like it was just a strange kind of sitch, right? And State Farm Insurance was a big sponsor. You know what I mean? They were sponsoring, and it was like, what? There is like, you have 12-year-olds that are like, what are you doing, State Farm? You know what I mean? This is totally not the target audience, but it feeds into exactly what you're talking about, right? Which was, hey, it's not about the 12-year-old signing up for, renter's insurance or automobile insurance. It's about, hey, being the brand that's associated in the periphery with all of the rest of their Twitch brands and everything like that, and being cool and being ready in the consideration set when they're ready. And it was like, wow, that's actually for like I don't want to say stodgy, because they do the NFL and they have, Jake from State Farm, but for being kind of a, quasi boring industry, right? Insurance, it was like, man, that's pretty kick ass. And that's pretty future forward of them in terms of from a media spend, you know what I mean? So
you got to get it. I mean, I've got daughters as you do, and they're brand loyal, conversely, their brand loyalty lasts a year or a year and a half. And then there's a new shiny object. And then there's it's Aviator Nation this year. And now it's Olo or what? I mean,
but that ties into what you said earlier though about fashion. I mean, fashion is, we've talked about this, I think, on the podcast. Fashion is kind of the opposite of graphic design, right? Because fashion is inherently destructive. Its purpose is to be seasonal, right? Which is a fantastic business model, because then you just keep, re-upping the situation, right? There is an argument to be made for a graphic designer, design and brand, to be timeless, right? To not be fad driven or seasonal, So I think something else that's kind of interesting about brand loyalty and brand adherence is we're talking about our particulars and like, oh, I got this guitar, or, oh, I like these shoes, or I like, what I mean? Like things like that. But I think also potentially I've got some friends of mine where it's like, oh, only BMW, because I was in a BMW in the worst car accident of my life and it saved my life.
Sure.
Right. So there's something interesting about not necessarily trauma, but some type of external trigger, not based on biases, that will then formulate, boom, I am with this brand forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean,
or conversely, the opposite could happen. I got the worst food I'm making this up right
worst
now.
experience ever.
I
And
got the worst experience ever at XYZ restaurant. I won't put anybody on blast. Like, I will never eat there
I'm out.
again. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, that type of thing, right? So, there is something kind of interesting about that as well. So,
So cars, are you brand loyal with
yeah.
cars at all? You don't
Yeah,
care.
no, for whatever reason, all we have are Fords now. We have
Yeah.
literally 3 Fords.
Right.
But there was a time in my life we didn't have any American cars, I think
Why do you
I
have 3 Fords?
I don't know. I don't know how that happened. I mean, here, if I was to backtrack, so one of the Fords is an old classic truck, right? So it's a 1967 Ford, right? And that's just, I've always wanted an old classic car of sorts, you know what I mean? So since forever. So, and it was a toss up between that and a 1950 or 52 Chevy pickup because I love the front ends of those and how curvy and crazy voluptuous those are. So when it comes to classic cars, like I love the Ford Ranchero. I love, the 50, a 56 Fairlane. I like a 57. Like it doesn't matter. I'm all over the place in terms of, it's just kind of the design aesthetic. It's not about this one had a better electrical system or this one always broke down or what, like,
which is interesting that you're agnostic because I mean, Ford Chevy is pretty diehard. I mean, that's about as diehard of a rivalry as it gets,
for sure. So, but I think, we were going to get the Lightning. You know what I mean? It was all about the electric truck and things like that, right? And it was too big for my wife, so we ended up getting the Mach-E instead, right? Because that was like, and that was not a spur of the moment, but it was like, oh, what's this thing on the lot over here? It was like, what in the world? So that ended up happening. Then for whatever reason during COVID, we pre-ordered a Bronco,
right?
And was like, hey, let's build your own Bronco.
It was your crazy COVID purchase. Everybody,
we're all trapped in our house, doing whatever. And it was like, hey, and then it was like, oh, it showed up. Okay, like, well, let's go take a look.
I guess we're buying a Bronco.
Yeah. But before that, I had a Mini Cooper, right, which is owned by BMW. I had a BMW before. We've had a Mazda.
Yeah.
We had a Toyota. I mean, we've been kind of all over the place. I mean, I don't need to keep going backwards, but like we've had all sorts of different brands. I mean, there are definitely some that I think are better than others, but also I think it's with cars. There's a season to your life of what you need, right?
Sure.
There's freedom. Let me get away from my parents. I have children. I'm transporting things from places to, like things like that. Right. So cars are kind of different. I don't know. What about you? I mean, where are you at on the brand?
So growing up, we were all Volkswagen. Our family was all Volkswagen.
That's interesting.
We had 2 Volkswagen Rabbits.
Okay. We had a Golf.
We had, well, I think the Rabbit
became the Golf.
It became the Golf, and then it became the TDI, I think. We had a Volkswagen Vanagon.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah, like the 80s version.
Yeah.
Like not the cool old Volkswagen.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
It was actually the first car I ever drove, which is terrifying.
Wow.
Not the first one that I drove on a daily basis, but the first one I ever operated.
Okay, manual? Was it manual?
Oh yeah, dude. It had, and it was like from the floor, so it had
the big
4-foot high stick shift.
Yeah. Those things are crazy.
So we were all Volkswagen, and then my first car was a Jetta. And
my first car was a Volkswagen. Actually,
I had 2 Jettas after that.
Okay.
And then after that, I went Toyota.
Okay.
And now I'm Toyota for life.
Are you really?
Yeah. I love them.
Well, you had a little dip back into VW.
I had a dip because I had a Jeep.
Right.
I had a Jeep.
You had a Jeep, and didn't you have did you have?
I did have the Volkswagen Atlas. Yeah. For like 6 months. That was a mistake. I went back to the Volkswagen. It was like, the car is horrible.
I think that's a snake bit car. A lot of people.
Sorry, Volkswagen, but that was a
we're going to lose our Volkswagen sponsorship, that's fine. But you've got a Toyota now. So
they run forever. I'm not a car guy. Like admittedly, I'm just not a car guy. I don't, it's not where I spend my money. It's not like, so I'm Toyota.
Yeah. I am not a mechanic, but I would love, in another life, I would love to be a mechanic, as crazy as that sounds. Like, I love tinkering and messing around with stuff, things like that. So it's fun.
Do we go to mechanics anymore? I feel like mechanics are Like
Well,
the body shop, right? Like, does anybody go to the body shop or the like local mechanic around
I
the
feel
corner?
like they
Does
wouldn't
that
exist
happen anymore?
if people didn't. Yeah, yeah. I mean, people go to that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
I just go take it back to the dealer and let them
I
deal
know.
with
Well,
it.
there's a lot of that, of course.
You
So
know.
there's a lot of that. But yeah, cars are definitely something that people will fall in love with, have a bad experience with, or have a great experience with, and be absolutely brand loyal to
Yep.
that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
um, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. There's a lot. A brand is more than a logo. You know what I mean? It's the internalized sum of all experiences associated with that brand. I mean, Starbucks sells a cup of coffee, but their brand doesn't sell coffee at all. Their brand sells indulgence and inspired moments, and you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, right? So that's a whole nother podcast in terms of like the difference between a logo and a brand and things like that. But it's interesting, just sort of brand allegiance as we kind of get, just like, oh my God, for the first time in 20 some odd years, I'm not wearing Adidas. Like, and I still love Adidas and I still have Adidas. Like
Yeah.
it's not like I threw them all out, just like your Fender. It's not like,
No. It'll always have a special place in my heart. Sure.
yeah. In the bottom of the closet, in the dark.
Bottom of the closet, collecting dust.
All right. Is that it for the maiden voyage?
I think that's what we got.
Video.
I can't look at you any longer. This is weird to me.
It's like too long. It's too long.
Strange.
Well, get rid of my paper mache project at some point behind me as the
I gotta get some
redecorating
smaller headphones.
commence. No, I want them bigger.
They're giant.
I want big cans is what I want up top, So
I'm just gonna leave that one right there.
Yeah. All right. Where can everybody find us, Mr. Rob?
Well, soon you'll be able to find us on YouTube.
Yeah.
For
as
the
horrifying as that sounds.
Display here. But of course on all the socials and at mocktheagency.com. We're not hard to find.
Yeah. All right. Until next time, everyone.
Until next time.
Yeah.